Welcome back. Today, we are diving into something so bizarre, so brilliant, and so unbelievably capable. It feels like three completely different machines fused into one unstoppable beast. An ambulance.
A camper.
A hardcore off-road legend. And somehow, it all works. This is the Land Rover Defender Pulse Ambulance Camper, a vehicle that looks like it escaped from a post-apocalyptic movie set and drove straight into the future. At first glance, it doesn't even look real. The silhouette alone stops people in their tracks. The iconic boxy Defender shape is still there, still aggressive, still instantly recognizable. But now it's stretched, armored with purpose, and transformed into a rolling survival machine. Massive off-road tires, raised suspension, utility panels, emergency lighting, rugged body cladding. Every inch of this machine screams adventure and emergency response at the exact same time. And the craziest part? This thing can literally save lives in the morning, then disappear into the mountains by sunset. That dual personality is what makes the Defender Pulse Ambulance Camper so fascinating. It isn't just a modified SUV. It's a fully engineered mobile command center designed for extreme conditions where ordinary vehicles simply give up. Picture this. A storm hits deep in the wilderness. Roads collapse. Mud swallows entire trails. Rescue teams can't reach stranded people. But somewhere in the distance, headlights cut through the rain. The Defender appears like a machine built for the end of the world. That's the feeling this vehicle gives you. Pure confidence. Under the hood, the Defender Pulse is powered by Land Rover's legendary engineering DNA. Depending on the build, you're getting brutal torque from turbocharged diesel power or a high-output petrol engine capable of climbing terrain that looks physically impossible. The throttle response feels immediate, aggressive, controlled. And when the terrain turns ugly, this machine comes alive. Mud, sand, snow, rock. It doesn't matter. The advanced all-wheel drive system constantly adjusts grip in real time. Terrain response technology reads the surface beneath you and transforms the vehicle's behavior instantly. One moment you're crawling over jagged rocks at impossible angles. The next you're blasting across open dirt roads with shocking speed and stability. And despite all the added equipment, this thing moves with authority. You feel the weight, the power, the purpose. There's something deeply satisfying about watching a vehicle this massive glide through chaos without hesitation. Water crossings become effortless. Steep climbs become routine. It feels less like driving a car, and more like commanding a military-grade exploration machine. But then you open the rear cabin, and the entire story changes. Because hidden behind that rugged exterior is an interior designed for survival, comfort, and human care. The Pulse conversion completely transforms the Defender into a fully functional medical and living environment. Cabinets line the walls with precision engineering. Emergency medical equipment is integrated seamlessly into the design. Foldable workstations, power systems, storage compartments, oxygen support systems, communication tech. Everything has its place. Yet somehow, it still feels premium. Soft ambient lighting glows against durable materials. Smart storage solutions maximize every inch of space. The seats are sculpted for long-distance endurance. Digital displays illuminate the cabin with a futuristic atmosphere. And when configured as a camper, it becomes something truly incredible. A mobile sanctuary. Imagine parking beside a frozen lake deep in the wilderness. The engine clicks softly as it cools down. Snow falls outside the windows. Inside, warm lighting fills the cabin while the compact living space transforms into a comfortable sleeping area. You have power, water, heat, shelter, security. You're completely isolated from civilization, yet fully self-sufficient. That's the magic of this Defender. Freedom. And unlike massive RVs that struggle off-road, this machine can go almost anywhere on Earth. Narrow forest trails, rocky desert paths, remote mountain passes, places where traditional campers would never survive. The Defender Pulse doesn't just travel through the wild. It belongs there. And visually, it's absolutely intimidating. The stance alone is enough to dominate traffic. High ground clearance gives it an almost armored appearance. The modular body design adds a tactical edge that feels straight out of a futuristic expedition convoy. LED lighting slices through darkness with surgical precision. Roof racks carry gear for extended missions. Recovery equipment hangs ready for action. Every detail serves a purpose. Nothing feels fake or decorative. This vehicle was clearly built by people who understand real-world adventure and real-world emergency. And then there's the technology. The Defender's cabin already feels years ahead of most SUVs, but the Pulse conversion pushes it even further. Massive touchscreen interfaces control navigation, vehicle settings, communication systems, and onboard utilities. Multiple cameras provide complete visibility around the vehicle. Satellite connectivity keeps you connected even in remote areas. Advanced climate systems maintain comfort in extreme temperatures. It's like carrying a high-tech command center on wheels. But what really surprises people is how refined the driving experience feels. You expect something bulky and rough. Instead, the Defender delivers smooth confidence. The suspension absorbs punishment without losing composure. Highway cruising feels stable and controlled. Wind noise is surprisingly low considering the aggressive setup. Steering remains precise even on difficult terrain. It's civilized when it needs to be. Savage when it has to be. And honestly, that balance is incredibly hard to achieve. Most off-road builds sacrifice comfort. Most luxury SUVs sacrifice toughness. Most campers sacrifice mobility. This vehicle sacrifices nothing. That's why it captures so much attention online. Every time footage of the Defender Pulse ambulance camper appears, people instantly stop scrolling. Because it taps into something deeper than just automotive curiosity. It taps into survival instincts. Adventure fantasies. The dream of escaping modern life and becoming completely independent. There's a reason expedition vehicles like this create emotional reactions. They represent possibility. The possibility of disappearing into nature for weeks. The possibility of helping people in places no one else can reach. The possibility of surviving anything the world throws at you. And the Defender platform is the perfect foundation for that vision. For decades, the Defender built its reputation in the harshest environments on Earth. African deserts, Arctic ice, jungle terrain, military operations, humanitarian missions. It became more than an SUV. It became a symbol of resilience. The Pulse conversion takes that legacy and amplifies it. Now it's not just about exploration. It's about purpose. And when you see this machine in action, fully loaded with equipment, climbing impossible terrain while carrying medical supplies or supporting remote expeditions, it feels cinematic. Almost unreal. The engine growls with determination.
Suspension flex over brutal terrain.
Dust explodes behind the wheels. Emergency lights reflect across storm clouds. It looks like the hero vehicle in a sci-fi survival film. Except this one is real. And yes, it's expensive. Extremely expensive. Custom builds like this can reach eye-watering prices depending on specifications. But honestly, after seeing what this machine is capable of, the price almost starts to make sense. Because you're not just buying transportation. You're buying capability, security, independence, adventure, and in some cases, the power to save lives. Very few vehicles on the planet can genuinely claim all of that at once. That's what makes the Land Rover Defender Pulse ambulance camper so unforgettable. It refuses to fit into a category. It's not just an SUV, not just an ambulance, not just a camper. It's a rolling survival machine engineered for people who refuse limits. And maybe that's why everyone becomes obsessed with it the moment they see it. Because deep down, we all wonder what it would feel like to own a machine capable of going anywhere, surviving anything, and turning every road into an expedition. The Defender Pulse answers that question with brutal confidence. And once you experience it, ordinary vehicles suddenly feel very small. Welcome back, and imagine this for a second. You're deep in the middle of nowhere. No roads, no cities, no signal, just mountains, mud, rain, and silence. Most vehicles would panic out here. Most people would turn back. But then, this machine appears through the fog like something built for the apocalypse itself. The Land Rover Defender Pop-Top Camper. A vehicle that doesn't just survive the wild, it owns it. This isn't a normal SUV. And it's definitely not a normal camper. This is a rolling fortress with a hidden second story. A luxury escape pod disguised as an off-road monster. And once that roof rises into the sky, everything changes. At first glance, the Defender already looks intimidating. Bold. Squared off. Brutal. Every line feels purposeful. Every inch feels engineered for war against the elements. The stance is aggressive. Wide shoulders. Massive ground clearance. Thick all-terrain tires gripping the earth like claws. It looks less like a car, and more like a machine sent to conquer landscapes humans were never meant to reach. And then there's the pop top. With the push of a button, the roof lifts upward like a transforming spacecraft. Suddenly, this rugged off-roader becomes a fully functional adventure home. A hidden sanctuary above the wilderness. It's the kind of transformation that makes people stop and stare. Because nobody expects this beast to open up into something this clever, this luxurious, this alive. And that's the magic of it. The Defender pop-top camper isn't built for vacations. It's built for freedom. Under the hood, this machine has serious muscle. Depending on the configuration, you can get a turbocharged inline-6 engine with mild hybrid technology pushing out brutal levels of torque. The acceleration feels shocking for something this capable. Press the throttle and the Defender surges forward with authority. Deep engine growl. Instant response. Pure confidence. On highways, it glides with unexpected smoothness. But off-road, that's where the legend begins. Mud. Sand. Snow. Rocks. Rivers. The Defender doesn't ask permission. It attacks terrain like it was born there. Advanced all-wheel drive systems constantly adapt beneath you. Terrain response technology analyzes conditions in real time. Suspension rises higher when the road disappears completely. Cameras give you impossible visibility. It feels like the vehicle is thinking ahead before you even react. And when night falls in the middle of nowhere, that's when this camper becomes something truly special. You pull over beside a cliffside lake. Wind echoes through the trees. The sky turns dark blue. One button later, the pop-top rises. Soft ambient lighting glows inside the cabin. Suddenly, you're not trapped outdoors anymore. You're floating above it. The interior is a perfect collision of rugged adventure and modern luxury. Premium materials wrap every surface. Durable, yet refined. Soft leather seats. Minimalist dashboard design. Massive touchscreen display glowing like a cockpit. Everything feels expensive. Precise. Clean. But unlike flashy luxury SUVs built for city parking lots, this one actually earns its comfort. Storage compartments are intelligently hidden everywhere. Compact kitchen setups slide into place. Sleeping areas unfold with surprising space and comfort. Some builds even include refrigerators, water systems, fold-out tables, and solar charging solutions. It's not camping the old way.
No freezing tents. No miserable nights.
This is exploration without sacrifice. And the craziest part? You can wake up literally anywhere. On a mountain ridge above the clouds. In a desert under a sky full of stars. Beside crashing ocean waves. Deep inside forests untouched by civilization. The Defender pop-top camper turns the entire planet into your backyard. That feeling is addictive. Because once you realize you're no longer tied to hotels, schedules, or roads, normal life starts to feel smaller. And Land Rover understands that psychology perfectly. This vehicle taps into something emotional. Something primal. The desire to escape. To disappear. To explore places most people only see on screensavers. It's not just transportation. It's a rebellion against routine. Even the design reinforces that mindset. The exterior looks unapologetically functional. Exposed rear-mounted spare tire. Short overhangs for insane approach angles. Signature LED headlights staring forward like predator eyes in the dark. Matte finishes. Black accents. Roof racks loaded with gear. Everything about it screams capability. But then you notice the details. The craftsmanship. The precision. The confidence. This isn't chaos. It's calculated dominance. And despite its rugged DNA, the Defender is packed with technology that feels futuristic. Massive digital displays. Wireless smartphone integration. Surround view cameras. Adaptive cruise control. Off-road telemetry. Navigation systems designed for places where maps barely exist. Some versions even feature advanced driver assistance systems that make long expeditions easier and safer. It's like having a luxury penthouse, merged with an expedition vehicle. And then there's the sound. The deep rumble of the engine echoing through valleys. Gravel crunching beneath oversized tires. rain hammering the pop-top roof while you sleep safely above the ground. Every moment feels cinematic. Every drive feels like the opening scene of an adventure film. Most campers feel bulky and lifeless. Most SUVs feel predictable. But this thing, it has character. It feels alive. There's also something incredibly powerful about the Defender's history. This nameplate has survived decades of brutal expeditions, military operations, and global adventures. The Defender became legendary because it could go where others failed. Farmers trusted it. Explorers depended on it. Adventurers built their lives around it. And now, that same unstoppable spirit has evolved into something even more extraordinary. A mobile base camp for modern explorers. The pop-top design changes everything because it gives you vertical space without sacrificing mobility. Traditional RVs are enormous and fragile. They struggle in tight trails and remote environments. But the Defender stays compact, agile, and capable while secretly hiding an expandable living space inside. That balance is genius. You can drive through crowded cities during the day, then vanish into remote wilderness by nightfall.
No hotel reservations. No limits.
Just freedom. And somehow, despite all its rugged capability, driving the Defender still feels premium. The cabin stays remarkably quiet at speed. The steering feels planted and confident. The suspension absorbs rough terrain while maintaining control. It doesn't bounce around like old-school off-roaders. It feels modern, refined, intelligent. But make no mistake, this machine still has teeth. Floor the accelerator and it launches harder than you'd expect from a vehicle carrying an entire adventure setup on its back. Torque hits instantly. The exhaust note deepens. The Defender charges forward with this unstoppable energy that makes you grin without realizing it. It's fast enough to thrill you, strong enough to protect you, and capable enough to take you almost anywhere on Earth. That combination is rare. And maybe that's why people become emotionally attached to these vehicles. Because they represent possibility. The possibility of escape, of adventure, of waking up somewhere unforgettable tomorrow morning. In a world where so many vehicles feel soulless and over-designed, the Defender pop-top camper feels authentic. Purpose-built. Fearless. There's a certain moment owners talk about. Usually late at night. Somewhere remote. Sitting inside the raised camper while rain falls outside. Warm lights glowing softly inside the cabin. Complete silence beyond the windows. And suddenly, it hits you. You're completely free.
No crowded airports.
No noisy hotels. No rigid plans. Just you, the machine, and the open world waiting outside. That's what this vehicle sells better than anything else. Not horsepower. Not luxury. Freedom. And honestly, that may be the most powerful feature any vehicle can offer. The Land Rover Defender pop-top camper isn't trying to be practical. It's trying to make ordinary life feel impossible to return to. Every detail pushes you toward adventure. Every mile dares you to keep going further. And once you experience what it feels like to sleep on top of a mountain inside a machine that climbed there effortlessly, nothing else really compares. Because this isn't just a car. It's an invitation to disappear from the world and finally start living in it. Welcome back. Today, we are diving into something that feels almost impossible. A machine so compact, yet so capable, it blurs the line between hardcore off-roader and rolling adventure home. This is the Land Rover Defender 90 Mini Camper. And trust me, by the end of this video, you might start questioning why anyone even needs a giant RV anymore. Because what you're looking at here isn't just a modified SUV. It's freedom compressed into steel, aluminum, and raw British attitude. The first thing that hits you is the stance. Short wheelbase, boxy silhouette, wide shoulders. It looks like it was carved from a single block of metal. Every inch screams toughness. But there's also something strangely elegant about it. The circular LED headlights glow like the eyes of a predator at night. The upright windshield gives it that unmistakable Defender DNA. And those chunky all-terrain tires? They don't just promise adventure, they dare you to find terrain brutal enough to stop them. Most camper vans look soft, oversized, bulky. This thing looks ready for war. And that's exactly what makes it so addictive. The Defender 90 already has legendary off-road blood running through its veins. But transforming it into a mini camper changes the entire personality of the vehicle. Suddenly, it's not just about getting somewhere impossible, it's about living there. Imagine this. You leave the city behind at sunset. Traffic disappears in the rearview mirror. The roads narrow. Civilization fades. And as darkness falls, the Defender keeps going. Through mud. Through rain. Across rocky trails where ordinary campers would literally fall apart. Then you stop.
No hotel. No reservations. No crowded campground.
Just wilderness. And inside this compact beast, you have everything you need. That's the magic. But before we step inside, listen to what's hiding under the hood. Depending on the build, the Defender 90 Mini Camper can pack serious power. Turbocharged engines delivering brutal torque.
Instant pulling force.
The kind that makes steep mountain climbs feel effortless. Some versions push over 390 horsepower. And in something this short and compact, that power feels explosive. Hit the throttle, and the Defender lunges forward with shocking aggression. The acceleration doesn't feel smooth and polite. It feels muscular, mechanical, alive. You sit high above the road, gripping the wheel as the suspension absorbs terrain that would destroy normal SUVs. Rocks vanish beneath the tires. Water crossings become playgrounds. Sand dunes turn into launch ramps. And yet somehow, despite all that rugged capability, it still feels premium. That duality is what makes this vehicle so fascinating. Because one moment, you're climbing through remote mountain trails covered in mud. And the next, you're sitting inside a cabin wrapped in leather, ambient lighting glowing softly around you, while a massive touchscreen controls everything from navigation to terrain response systems. This isn't survival. This is luxury exploration. The interior of the Defender 90 Mini Camper feels like a futuristic expedition pod. Every inch is intelligently designed. Storage compartments hidden everywhere. Foldable sleeping setups. Compact cooking stations. Tiny details that transform limited space into something unbelievably functional. And honestly, that's part of the charm. Big campers can feel disconnected from nature, like driving apartments. But the Defender keeps you close to the experience. You hear the rain hitting the roof. You wake up inches away from forests, oceans, cliffs, deserts. Every morning feels cinematic. And when the rear setup unfolds into a sleeping area, something incredible happens. The Defender stops being a car. It becomes a sanctuary. Picture yourself parked beside a frozen lake deep in the mountains. Snow falling outside. The cabin warm and quiet. Soft LED lighting glowing inside while the wind howls across the wilderness beyond your windows. That feeling? You can't buy it with luxury hotels. You earn it. And that's exactly why people are obsessed with builds like this. But make no mistake, this isn't just about camping aesthetics for Instagram photos. The Defender 90 Mini Camper is genuinely engineered for serious travel. Advanced four-wheel drive systems constantly monitor grip levels. Adjustable terrain modes adapt the vehicle to mud, snow, sand, rocks, or water. Hill descent control keeps everything stable on terrifying slopes. It almost feels unfair. Places that once required specialized off-road rigs are now accessible with heated seats and premium audio systems. And speaking of sound, the engine note has this deep, commanding growl. Not overly loud. Not fake. Just confident. Especially when paired with the compact proportions of the Defender 90, every burst of acceleration feels intense. The shorter wheelbase makes it feel agile, almost playful, compared to larger SUVs. You don't drive this thing casually. You experience it. Every steering input feels direct. Every trail feels personal. Every journey becomes a story. And visually, the Mini Camper conversion takes the Defender's iconic design to another level. Roof racks loaded with adventure gear. Side-mounted storage boxes. Compact awnings extending into remote landscapes. Auxiliary lights mounted above the windshield turning night into daylight. Matte paint finishes. Blacked-out trim. Rugged accessories that make the vehicle look like it belongs in a post-apocalyptic movie. It's impossible not to stare at it. Even standing still, it looks like it's moving toward an adventure. But what truly makes this build special is the emotional side of it. Because deep down, the Defender 90 Mini Camper represents something most people are desperately searching for right now. Escape. Not just from cities. Not just from work. But from routines. From schedules. From noise. This vehicle taps into that primal urge to disappear into the unknown, to wake up somewhere nobody can reach you, to chase horizons instead of deadlines. And maybe that's why the Defender has always carried this mythical reputation. It's never been just transportation. It's identity. People who buy vehicles like this aren't simply buying horsepower or camping equipment. They are buying possibility. The possibility of spontaneous road trips. The possibility of sleeping under the stars. The possibility of taking the long route home, every single time. And somehow, the Defender 90 Mini Camper delivers all of that without becoming oversized or impractical. That's what's genius about it. It stays compact enough for tight city streets, yet capable enough to cross continents. That balance is incredibly rare. Most vehicles compromise somewhere. This one refuses to. Even the technology feels purpose-built for adventure. Massive camera systems help navigate impossible terrain. Digital driver displays provide real-time off-road information. Wireless connectivity keeps you linked to the world when you want it, and lets you disconnect when you don't. It feels modern without losing its soul. And that's difficult to achieve in today's automotive world. Because let's be honest, many modern SUVs feel sterile, over-designed, soulless. But the Defender still feels mechanical enough to be exciting, rugged enough to feel authentic, yet advanced enough to feel futuristic. That combination is pure automotive magic. And then there's the reaction it gets from people. Kids stare at it. Off-road enthusiasts respect it. Campers admire it. Even people who know nothing about cars instantly understand that this thing is special. You don't need to explain it. The Defender speaks for itself. Especially when it's parked alone in the middle of nowhere, covered in dirt, with mountains towering in the background and a warm light glowing from inside the cabin. That image alone tells an entire story. A story about adventure. About independence. About refusing to live life on autopilot. And maybe that's why builds like the Defender 90 Mini Camper hit differently than supercars or luxury sedans. Because they don't just impress people. They inspire them. They make people imagine their own escape, their own road trip, their own adventure waiting somewhere beyond the next horizon. And in a world obsessed with bigger screens, bigger houses, and bigger distractions, there's something unbelievably powerful about a machine designed to help you disappear into nature with only the essentials.
No excess. No nonsense.
Just capability, comfort, and freedom. The Land Rover Defender 90 Mini Camper isn't trying to be the fastest vehicle on Earth. It's trying to make every mile unforgettable. And honestly, that might be even more impressive. Because long after people forget horsepower numbers and top speed statistics, they remember experiences. The roads they conquered. The places they discovered. The nights spent under endless skies. And this machine was built for exactly those moments. The kind of moments that stay with you forever. The Land Rover Defender 90 Mini Camper isn't just a vehicle. It's an invitation to disappear, explore, and live beyond the map.